Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Wow, kind of crazy story coming out of Indiana last night. We're going to get to that here momentarily. Um, Before we do, I got a couple of things I was going to mention. First off, I was like extremely humbled today. Just the simplest little thing. Um, so I know that we have subs that have been around here for a while. I know that, and I could sit there and name off several of them. But it's when I see a name that doesn't I don't see it pop up very often. And so anyway, somebody had made a comment on yesterday's show, and I noticed a little icon behind their name, and so I hovered it with my mouse, and it told me that they've been a sub for 6 years. And I don't know. It really, I don't know. Like I said, I can name off several. Cajun, Steve's been here, Oh, gosh, I could sit here and name several. But like I say, what shocked me was not recognizing a name that's commenting a lot or in the chat a lot or anything like that. And I don't know. It's just humbling. I don't know. Maybe I'm a weirdo or something. But anyway, the other thing is, I've been doing a lot of thought lately. And by the way, I need to probably say this. I normally don't ever have notes. And it's not like I really got much. I've got two little bitty things jotted down so I don't forget to talk about them. But that's something I don't know. It's something that I've tried not to do and kind of prided myself in not doing. But I may have to start doing that a little bit more. So just kind of giving you a little heads up on that. Having problems with remembering stuff. And so that happens a lot. And it's been happening more and more and more. And there's different important things that I want to touch on, talk about, that I think about throughout the day. And it used to be I could put it in a little file in my head, and come showtime, I could sit there and pull them out. And it's like I can't find the file folder or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So, but I may have notes from time to time, and that is why. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention is it's one of the most basic, simple things you would ever imagine. And when I say it, you're going to be like, yeah, and? But I think it needs to be said. And this doesn't just encompass, see, I can't even think, encompass me, but it encompasses all of us. I think we've got a society that's, how do I even word this? We got a society that doesn't care anymore whatsoever about right and wrong. The only thing they care about is whether their side wins. And I just wanted to make a simple reminder to folks, and I'll read it verbatim what I wrote down, although it's just a note. So, life is simple. Right and wrong are not dependent on if you like someone. That's the note that I had wrote down. And that's a fact. It's not dependent. I'll keep my pen up here. Not dependent on whether or not you like someone. Integrity is a very, very, very important quality to have. And that's how you know whether or not somebody has integrity. If somebody has the integrity, the courage, the strength to stand up among their peers and say, I disagree with this, that is integrity. The people that may not like it, but they just keep their mouths quiet and just go along to get along, no integrity. I'm telling you that as far as a human being, as far as the quality of a human being is concerned, probably the most important quality is that integrity. Period. Because that is what dictates what's most important to you, whether it's right or wrong or doing what makes you feel good. Because many times in life, doing the right thing isn't the thing that makes us feel good. You know, I don't set out and I don't feel good if I feel I need to call somebody down to the table, so to speak. That doesn't make me feel good. But it's the right thing to do. So I just wanted to pass that along. I guess that was something that either I needed to pass on or he needed to pass on through me or whatever, but it's there. Again, my head's just not right. Like really foggy and stuff like that. I don't know. I've been, I don't know. It's been for some time now. Just exhausted. Just constantly exhausted. Lots of pain. And, I don't know. Just as time goes on, it seems like things just get a little more cloudy and a little more cloudy. So I have no idea what's going on. I have no diagnosis. I can't go to the doctor or anything like that. So it is what it is. But the only thing that it affect you guys, hopefully it won't affect, well, it's kind of funny for me to say this, but the performance of the show, but you know what I mean. Hopefully it won't affect the show. So, anyway, let me jump on over to my tabs here, and we'll talk about what's going on. Okay, this was a headline that like punched me in the face today when I saw this headline, and I was just like, no way. Hang on, let me get this tweeted out so it's there when I get there. I was like, absolutely no way. They're not calling this guy out for this, are they? Yeah, apparently so. Not everybody. I want to make that very clear. The only time that I have seen anything, and I haven't gone looking either way, otherwise, but this is the only time I've seen an example like this, but I'm damn well going to point it out. As you see the headlines say, armed Good Samaritan stopped Indiana mall shooting, comma, broke mall rules. Just had to put that in there. Just had to put that in there. I just find that stunning. Anyway, this says, while police are crediting an Indiana man with shooting and killing a suspect in the Greenwood Park mall shooting Sunday, mall policy prohibited him from carrying at all. Now, you got, I believe it was the chief, yes, the Greenwood police chief right here, and this is his statement. This is what he said. The real hero of the day was the citizen that was lawfully carrying a firearm in the food court and was able to stop the shooter almost as soon as he began, Ison said. Almost as soon as he began. He killed 3, if I'm not mistaken. I believe injured 2 others, if those numbers are still correct. I'm pulling the numbers that I initially saw, so. Man, that's incredible. That is incredible. Somebody like this doesn't need to have articles about how they break the mall rules. You know, the soft target centers. Oh, I mean gun-free zones? Yeah. It is sickening. And well, let's Jen Psaki circle back to what I was talking about, integrity and doing the right thing. This guy deserves to be at the White House getting a medal. Let's not screw around here. This guy deserves to be at the White House getting a medal for what he did. And his actions and his bravery need to be encouraged heavily. This is how you stop mass shootings. No other way. I'll say it again. This is how you stop mass shootings. No other way. There is no other way. None. This is it. A good guy with a gun to stop the bad guy with a gun. Plain and simple. It blows my mind that they would have taken it there. I mean, I know it shouldn't surprise me in the very least bit. But I mean, just how screwed up can they be? So I'm not going to focus on this article. What I'm actually going to do is come on over to here, and I'm going to read this article in which, in my opinion, and I haven't read every word of it, understand that, but that other one was like, almost seemed like they were trying to do a hit piece on the guy, did it not? Here it says, Indiana mall shooter brought multiple weapons. Good Samaritan who shot him credited with saving countless lives. Officials identified the suspect and the man who fatally shot him as, and I don't know if that's Elijah Dickin, 22 years old. The dead guy is 20. And sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful to the others that lost their lives. I just mean the dead guy that deserves to be dead. Incredible. Says here the suspected gunman in the Indiana mall shooting. Let me get that closed. I don't want to see that down there. Sorry. The suspected gunman in the Indiana mall shooting carried 2 rifles, a pistol, and more than 100 rounds of ammo, authorities said Monday. And the Good Samaritan who fatally shot him is credited with saving countless lives. 3 people were killed at the Greenwood Park Mall outside Indianapolis on Sunday. 2 others were injured, and the gunman is also dead. The suspected shooter was identified. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. He entered the Greenwood Mall and went to a restroom near the food court. And that's one thing I'm not going to do. I'll post their picture if there's a picture, but I'm not going to call them by name. And that has nothing to do with what everybody, because I think their logic is wrong. I think these folks that intend well, they mean well. I think their logic though is flawed in that don't make these people famous and all. You're not making them famous. When you say their name and show their picture, you're not making them famous. But I don't want to speak evil. And that may sound very crazy to a lot of people. That's fine, I don't care. But I don't want to speak evil. And I feel as if I say their name, I'm speaking evil. I don't know, it's just weird, and it's just something that had just came about with me. But nonetheless, that's not what's important. He stayed in the bathroom for 62 minutes, apparently. Well, hang on. Let's see. He entered the Greenwood Mall, went into a restroom near the food court about 4:54 p.m. on Sunday. Stayed in the bathroom for 62 minutes, then exited and began firing near and into the mall's food court with a Sig Sauer rifle, killing 3 people. The victims were identified as husband and wife Pedro Pineda and Rosa Miriam Rivera de Pineda. And I'm sure I got that wrong, and my apologies. 37. He was 56. Sorry, she was 37. Both of Indianapolis. And Victor Gomez, 30, of Indianapolis. Mr. Dickin, I don't know if that's Elijah or not. I'm not sure. 22 of Seymour, Indiana, was at the mall shopping with his girlfriend, saw the shooter, and within minutes of him opening fire, he returned fire with a handgun and killed him. His actions were nothing short of heroic. He engaged the gunman from quite a distance with a handgun, was very proficient in that, very tactically sound, and as he moved to close in on the suspect, he was also motioning for people to exit behind him. Very, very good, sir. That was spot on. Spot on. Investigators have no indication Dickin had any military or law enforcement background, Eisen said. Altogether, investigators recovered 24 rifle rounds fired by the guy and 10 rounds shot by Dickin, Eisen said. Although he had other weapons, he only managed to fire from one rifle. Authorities have not pieced together a motive, and he had no criminal record as an adult. He only had minor interactions with law enforcement as a juvenile for a fight at school and running away from home. There were no indicators he was violent or unstable, the parents told investigators. A second rifle was found by investigators in a bathroom. Suspect's cell phone was discovered in a toilet in a bathroom stall. He had on his person multiple magazines and more than 100 rounds of ammunition along with the handgun. Investigators learned that he frequented a gun store and range over the past 2 years where he bought ammunition and honed his shooting skills. Let's see. He lived on his own. Investigators checking on reports that he was facing eviction. He resigned from a warehouse job in May. In addition to those killed, a 22-year-old woman sustained a leg wound and is recovering, and a 12-year-old girl sustained a minor injury when a bullet ricocheted and hit her. Greenwood Mayor Mark W. Myers said Monday, "I grieve for these senseless killings, and I ache for the scars that are left behind on the victims and on our community." Myers also said of Dickin, this young man, Greenwood's Good Samaritan, acted within seconds, stopping the shooter and saving countless lives. That's the mayor. Ty Straub, 35, of Indianapolis, was at the mall Sunday, about 300 feet away from the food court, when he started to hear screaming and saw a stampede of people running over each other. "I saw people pushing past each other and running as fast as they could. As soon as I saw that, I didn't waste any time. I took off running," he told NBC News. In the chaos, he heard someone say, "Shooter, shooter," but didn't hear any shots himself. "I basically ran like the wind. I told everybody around me, with the little bit of breath I had, they said, there's a shooter, go, go, go," he recalled. And by the way, that's not nothing really super uncommon. If he already had the fear first, if the fear already started hitting him first, he may not have necessarily recounted the shots. So there's a lot of weird tricks that the mind will play to it's trying to protect you, actually, but nonetheless, continuing. Well, right here it says, Straub said, "I have never been that scared in my life." So there you go. He successfully got back to his car, and police and ambulances arrived minutes later. Something you never think would actually witness seems like it's crazy, as the times are getting that we should all kind of have our head on a swivel and be ready for whatever, Straub said. Yes, sir. You need to, act on that thought, so you don't have to fear. So. The motive and circumstances of the shooting are under investigation. Officers, including members of the Indianapolis Department SWAT team, went through the mall Sunday night to ensure no one injured was hiding or otherwise in need of help, an officer with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department said. A backpack the police believe was left by the gunman in a bathroom turned out not to be a threat, he said. Greenwood Park Mall condemned the shooting Monday, saying that violence has no place in this or any other community. "We grieve for the victims of yesterday's horrific tragedy in Greenwood," the statement said. "We are grateful for the strong response of the first responders, including the heroic actions of the Good Samaritan who stopped the suspect." The mall was closed on Sunday. Now, I do want to point something out here. The mall made note of his actions. I just want to make that abundantly clear, because that report that I covered, that's media. The mall may not have issue, okay? But if the mall was asked questions to be factual, they would have to tell the truth. And the truth is nope, they had a new policy that no firearms. So for the mall to tell the reporter that's just being factual and honest. That doesn't mean that the mall had an issue with it. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. What I want to see is if the mall reverses that rule. That is what I want to see. That'll tell us where they stand. Let's see. Mike Pence, who served as Indiana's governor from 2013 to 2017 and vice president under Donald Trump, said Monday morning, "Our prayers are with the fallen and injured." He praised the citizen who stopped the shooter as a Hoosier hero. Well, in Indiana, that is a compliment, so for those that don't know. 3. Now, probably, I don't know how acceptable it is if you don't live in Indiana and you call them a bunch of Hoosiers. I don't know. So, but 3 hours after the Greenwood Park Mall shooting, another person was killed and 3 were wounded when gunfire erupted at Don Chalice Park, just 7 miles south, in another Indianapolis suburb, Beech Grove. Oh, man. Our Beech Grove EMS, which I think is the best, believe it or not, was not available for this incident because our ambulances were down helping people at the Greenwood Mall, Mayor Dennis Buckley told reporters on Monday. "We don't pick and choose, we help." Beech Grove authorities thank first... And by the way, I want to just stop a moment with that. There's only so many of them. And that's why I think it is an incredible idea for folks to at least come remotely proficient with first aid and even carry with you the items that you would need to be able to perform that first aid. And, you know, hey, I'll praise good stuff and I'll come down on bad stuff. But in my opinion, the best medical kit for the job would be one of Bear's. One of Refuge Medical Bear Independence, one of their kits. Seriously. That's one thing that I want. I want one of his SOBs so bad I can't see straight. That is... No matter which kit, that is the most incredible design of a first aid kit that I had ever seen. You know, seconds count. And that kit is made for you to be able to deploy in seconds with one hand. That's incredible. That is incredible. Sorry, I'm not trying... I don't sell for anybody. I'm not trying to sell for Bear or anything like that. I'm just giving you my honest opinion about his product. I think it's the best. And I'm not saying that to kiss his ass. I'm certainly not going to kiss his ass. There's a whole lot me and him don't see eye to eye on. But, for one... just simply what coming out of her, my people, actually means. It means all the way, not just part of the way. But that's neither here nor there. You want a first aid kit? That's the place to get it. And it looks like that's the end. Said Beech Grove authorities thank for first responders from other neighboring communities for filling in the gap on Sunday night. Oh, insanity. That people can't understand the importance of the average everyday Joe or Jane having a firearm. And I think it's incredibly important. Proof. there is a hell of a lot more good people out there than there are bad. Now, when I say that, I don't necessarily mean they're great, wonderful, What I'm saying is that most of them mean well. At least they have a relatively decent heart, and they would want to try to do the right thing, especially in a situation like that. This whole notion, this myth, this falsehood that by encouraging gun ownership would be like the Wild Wild West is nonsense. People that think that need to go places to where it's actually pretty much in the culture. I have lived here pretty much all my life, and Illinois, their gun laws have always been pretty strict. Now, we don't have Chicago gun laws down here or nothing like that, but they've always been somewhat strict. You got to have the FOID card and blah, 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 blah. Not constitutional carry yet, blah, blah, blah. Well, and I don't even know if you can open carry in Illinois. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you can, it's just not in the culture here. Okay, so if you can open carry here, you're not going to see anybody do it unless it's law enforcement. It's just not, it's Illinois. I went to Arizona. Been there a couple of times, but I went to Arizona. I'm not well traveled, and it shocked me. It was literally a culture shock. Because here I go into the gas station to buy a pack of smokes. And, this dude, I swear to God, the barrel was about to drag on the ground. His revolver was so long. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but damn. And, anyway, it should have had a foregrip, his damn barrel was that. And that is a serious statement. You could have put a foregrip on that thing. Anyway, and I stunned, and it wasn't just that guy. It was common. Now, I can't sit here and say it was half the people or nothing like that, but there was a fair amount of people. Smack right there on their side. You couldn't miss it. And maybe many of you are laughing at me. Again, I'm from here, and that's not much in the culture here. And anyway, I think that needs to change. Not necessarily open carry. That's personal decision either way. If I could own and carry, I would conceal, personally. That would be, in my opinion, the smarter way. And I know there's arguments to go both ways. So, but, hang on. Oh, God, I'm screwing everything up. 1 second. Spilling coffee, dropping e-cigs. I'm a mess. No, not that bad. I just sploshed it a little bit. What fun. I just was trying to grab my coffee. So anyway, reckon we ought to move on. Let's see. I was just looking up at the chat. I'll have to check out Skinny Medic. I'll definitely check out his channel. Never can have too much knowledge, that's for sure. Let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and move forward. I only got like 4 more tabs open. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I thought was really worthy of putting up, in the beginning of the show like this, but definitely some big ones. This would be one. Gazprom declares force majeure on EU gas flow, says media. This could turn into a mountain. Russian energy giant Gazprom has declared force majeure on gas supplies to at least one major EU customer starting July 14th. Reuters reported on Monday, citing a company letter it has seen. According to the document, Gazprom could not fulfill its supply obligations due to extraordinary circumstances outside its control, Reuters explains. The agency cites its sources as saying the letter was referring to supplies to Germany via the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. The route is currently undergoing planned annual maintenance, which is due to be completed on Thursday. However, many in Germany fear the flow will not be resumed. Last month, supply via the pipeline was slashed by 60% as a vital piece of equipment was not returned from repairs in Canada on time due to sanctions on Russia. According to media reports, the gas turbine should be back in Russia within a week. So I would just keep an eye on this situation, because I'm telling you, if Russia makes the decision to cut off that gas flow, holy cow. That's big. There's a lot of industry that'll go down, and of course, you've got the citizens that need. I mean, it's going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly, and that just might push a country to go to war. I mean, what do you do? I mean, what's the saying? When somebody has nothing left to lose, they lose it. I'm pretty sure that goes for nations too. So anyway, keep an eye on that. A Chinese military issues warning to the U.S. I knew this was coming. The Foreign and Defense Ministries in Beijing issued harsh statements on Monday condemning the Biden administration's approval of a new U.S. arms sale to Taiwan. The deal is worth an estimated $108 million, and it includes armored vehicle parts and technical assistance. Beijing demands that the United States immediately withdraw the above-mentioned arms sales plan to Taiwan, as well as halt all other arms deals and cut military ties with the island, said Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Tan Kifi. I'm sure I said that wrong. Otherwise, the U.S. side will be solely responsible for undermining the relationship between China and the U.S. and the two militaries and the peace and stability of the Taiwan Strait. The Chinese People's Liberation Army will take all necessary measures to firmly defend national sovereignty and territorial integrity and resolutely thwart any form of external interference in separatist attempts for Taiwan independence, the colonel added. Man, this is they're serious. I'm telling you right now. China has been in the process over the last, I guess at least couple of years, if not more, has been steadily building. They've been steadily putting stuff back, stocking stuff back too. But they've been steadily building, and they've been continually telling their troops to get ready for war. Continually. And they've been ramping up everything they do militarily, and I mean on a scale like you wouldn't believe. China's military has exploded. Not necessarily just in like troop numbers or anything, but as in like their equipment, their capabilities. I mean, they've gone full tilt for a good period of time, getting ready. I'm not saying that, again, it has nothing to do with who I like or don't like or anything. It has to do with telling you the truth. China has been preparing to fight the United States for several years now. Slowly building up. And I'm not even saying that it was necessarily their intent the whole time, but I think that they know that they either do it or they're going to be done at some point. So, I don't know. It's nuts. Anyway, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin echoed this sentiment, saying that Washington's arms supplies gravely undermine China's sovereignty and security interests and severely harm China-U.S. relations and peace and stability. Did I read that? If I did, I'm sorry. China will continue. Yeah, I did. I am sorry that I repeated that. The Pentagon revealed on Friday that the U.S. State Department had greenlit the transaction, which is valued at up to $108 million. It has yet to receive congressional approval, however. The military aid package will include parts for tanks and other combat vehicles, as well as technical and logistical support services provided by the U.S. government and its contractors in order to enhance the Taiwanese military's interoperability with American forces and other allies, according to the U.S. Defense Security Cooperation Agency. Damn. State Department spokesman Ned Price dismissed China's concerns, claiming later on Monday that the U.S. has certain obligations to supply Taiwan with necessary means to defend itself. Under the Taiwan Relations Act, we make available to Taiwan defense articles and services necessary to enable Taiwan to maintain a sufficient self-defense capability. This is something that successive administrations have done. It is entirely consistent with our One China policy, said Price. Taiwan has been ruled by the nationalists who fled the island in 1949 after losing... Well, I'm not going to go into the history. You know all that stuff. But keep an eye on this, because the United States is steadfast in starting trouble there, too. You know, and I'm not... It's not my... You know, I'm not agreeing or not agreeing with either side or any... It's not my job. I think the United States really needs to stop nation building and stop trying to be the world's police. But I'm honestly afraid to death at this point that the moment we stop, we're going to get lynched. And I kind of have the feeling that that's kind of the point that we're at. And I can't speak for, you know, many other nations, but Russia and China seem to have their eyes on us pretty damn hard right now. And I'm just telling you my opinion. Again, not picking a side or nothing, but I don't honestly think that that's what Putin wants. And I don't even think that Putin wanted the situation in Ukraine to go as far as what it has yet at this point. I think, and again, I was proven wrong because I didn't think he was going to invade anyway. So there's that, and I want to get that out there. But I think he would have probably just stopped with Donetsk and Lugansk. I think he would have probably stopped pushing. But it's because the U.S. and other nations keep supplying with arms and encouraging them and keeping them fighting that Russia has to do the same in return. And I think it's going to be a miserable, slow death for Ukraine if they keep up. It's crazy. It is crazy watching how they are being used. How the United States, how NATO, let me make that clear, how NATO is using Ukraine. It's ridiculous. I'll sip a cup of here. Alrighty. I've got a hell of a hum. That might have been it. That matter. It seems like there's still a little bit of a hum, but I got some of it out. Let's see. A Mexican president unveils written plea to Biden. And this, well, let me read and then I'll give you my concerns. The president of Mexico has revealed the contents of a personal letter he passed on to his U.S. counterpart during their meeting last week. Andres, and I'm probably saying, is that Andres? How would you say that? Spanish. Andres. It's like the one language you do, somewhat, at least, kind of, no. Oh. We'll just say Andres. Manuel Lopez Obrador urged Joe Biden to intervene and dismiss charges against WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange, who faces the prospect of 175 years in American prison. I left a letter to the president about Assange explaining that he did not commit any serious crime, did not cause anyone's death, did not violate any human rights, and that he exercised his freedom, and that arresting him would mean a permanent affront to freedom of expression, Lopez Obrador said at a news conference on Monday. A hell of a statement. And I explained to Biden that Mexico offers protection and asylum to Julian Assange, the Mexican president added. It's not the first time the Mexican leader, widely known by his initials AMLO, makes a plea on behalf of Assange. Earlier this month, he said that if Washington convicts Assange, that it would confirm that the world-famous monument in New York Harbor is no longer a symbol of freedom. Remember when I covered that? If they take him to the United States and he is sentenced to the maximum penalty and to die in prison, we must start a campaign to tear down the Statue of Liberty, AMLO declared on July 4th as the U.S. was celebrating its Independence Day. Assange has been effectively confined since 2012 when he sought asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, and you know the story. I've got big comments to make on that last paragraph. Let me repeat his quote. If they take him to the United States and he is sentenced to the maximum penalty and to die in prison, we must start a campaign to tear down the Statue of Liberty. Now, you take that statement with my reminder that there are foreign troops building up, and I don't know if it's I think it's South America somewhere, isn't it? But I know there's foreign troops that is building up down there. That might be something we might want to think about in line with that statement. Because Mexico's not happy either. And I don't, again, not choosing sides, saying whether it's right, wrong, because hell, I don't even know a handful of the ins and outs between Mexico and the U.S. So, I don't know. Just something I thought we better note. And lastly, and this should be of no surprise, Americans' trust in media hits record low, says a poll. 1 out of 6, and where's the, there was a statement I saw somewhere that was talking about this and talking about how low the trust in media is, and the trust in Biden was even less. 1 out of 6 Americans trust the newspapers, and just 1 out of 10 trust television, according to a recent Gallup survey. These are the lowest numbers since 1973 and 1993, respectively, with a drastic drop over the past year. There is also a widening gap in media trust between Democrats and the rest of the country. Only 16% of respondents said that they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in newspapers, while 43% said they had very little trust in the press. This marks the first time that this number went down 20% since 1973, when Gallup began tracking data. Things looked even worse for television, with only 11%, the lowest percentage on record since 1993, having a great deal of confidence in TV news, compared to the 49% with very little trust. Overall, trust in both newspapers and TV has dropped significantly since 2021 by 5 percentage points in both cases, while the trend has been uniform across all political persuasions. Important note there, the poll revealed considerable gaps. Despite a 3-point loss, 35% of Democrats still trusted the newspapers, compared to just 5% of Republicans and 12% of independents. Democrats' trust in TV news dropped by 6 percentage points to 20%, while the independents slid 5 points to just 8%. Meanwhile, Republicans actually began trusting TV news slightly more than in 2021, going up from 6% to 8%. The overall decline of trust in the media was part of a trend with most major American institutions, Gallup found. Americans are less confident in major U.S. institutions than they were a year ago, with significant declines for the 11 of the 16 institutions tested and no improvements for any, Gallup said. Commenting on the result of the survey, it involved 1,015 participants polled between June 1st and 20th. Trust in the U.S. Supreme Court slid by 11 points overall, going from 31% to 13% among the Democrats and from 40% to 25% among the independents in the aftermath of the controversial rulings on abortion and gun rights, while gaining a mere 3% among the Republicans. Confidence in the military was down by 10 points among Republicans. That's huge. And up by 4 points among Democrats. And that is even very notable. Americans of all political stripes lost trust in the police, with a pronounced 11-point loss among Republicans. And that is gigantic. That is huge. Losing faith in the White House under President Joe Biden, however, seemed to unify the country. While Republicans' trust in the presidency was down 10 points to just 2%, it collapsed among the independents from 31% to just 18% and was in free fall among Biden fellow Democrats, going from 69% in 2021 to just 51% today. So, crazy. Absolutely nuts. You couldn't have convinced me. No matter how much talking you did to me, you could have never convinced me. Say, however, even 10 years ago, that things were going to go like they are. I mean, I knew stuff was coming. I started prepping way back when. I knew stuff was coming. However, I didn't think it was going to go down like this. You know, this is kind of like slow torture, the way that this is going down, you know? It's just crazy. Sorry, I had a notification then. Had to check it out. Anyway, Didn't do. I guess in other news, Blue already had half of her banana today and spent most of the rest of the day trying to force me to give her more. So that didn't work out for her, though. Although I did have to go get a deer stick and share it with her. So, you know, happens. Anywho. Yeah, I kept forgetting. My brother gave me a couple packs of, like, deer sticks, you know? And, I kept forgetting I had another one up in the freezer. And so about, 4 or 5 days ago, I seen it, and I'm like, I'm putting that in the fridge now. So, because I knew once I took it out of that refrigerator, it's gone. It's gone. That's like crack. Anyway. Alright. Let's do some headlines, and I'm like double tired tonight. About 6 o'clock, I guess. My back, like I said, I've been in quite a bit of pain. My back is bothering me, and I crunch like Rice Krispies, right? My body pops all the time. I have no idea what's wrong. I've got something wrong. I have no idea what it is. Doctors weren't interested in finding out. I'm not going to beg anybody. I'm not. What, I'm just whatever. But so I laid on the futon for a moment, with glares from the dog, and popped my back, and that felt nice and a little comfortable, and I think I dozed off for at least a minute or two, and then had to get out and start coffee, and I'm looking forward to bed. Anyway. Let's see. Russian economy expected to thrive by the year's end, says a Putin aide. EU's crop yield projected to fall. France looks for alternative energy supplies. 4 dead in mall shooting. Russian military given new priority in Ukraine. Clothing retail giant to leave Russia. Kremlin comments on treason calls for athletes who changed nationality. Oh, that was a sports thing, sorry. I guess it's actually news related too, but I try to stay far away from sports or entertainment. Do you notice I don't, really big well-known people, a lot of them have been dying, and I don't report on it unless if it's like news related or something like that. But if it's just entertainment related, no, it's not news. Let's see. Timetable for return of Nord Stream turbine revealed. Germany and France killed the Minsk agreements, says Russia. German industry could shut down without Russian gas. WHO declares new virus outbreak. That's the Marburg virus, and I think there's only like a couple people that have it or something. So, let's see. EU's top diplomat defends anti-Russia sanctions. U.S. luring India to join anti-Russian oil cartel, says Reuters. RT responds to trial after conviction by UK media watchdog. Ukraine's foreign legion struck by missiles, says Russia. Let's see. Kiev expands on fate of officials dismissed by Zelensky. EU should abandon national veto, says the German Chancellor. Russia fines Google $366 million. Germany explains why it can't use alternate route for Russian gas. EU ramps up military support to Ukraine. Let's see. Kiev names condition for peace talks with Moscow. British Falklands war vet captured in Donbass, says media. LGBT propaganda facing complete ban in Russia. EU admits goal of anti-Russian sanctions. Switzerland turns down NATO request on Ukrainians. New York to get Ukrainian way. I will be so glad when we can get out of the damn virtue signaling whatever. And I'm long damn tired of the damn fake victim society. Damn. Can we just please get past these things? Let's see. World must choose between action and suicide, says the UN. And of course, that's climate related. Kiev reacts to ex-NATO commander's forecast on conflict with Moscow. Mexico. Let's see. Turkey may still freeze NATO expansion, says Erdogan. And U.S. COVID czar reveals retirement plans. Sure, that's one hell of a golden parachute package. Anyway, I don't know, I'm going to make like a tree and leaf. Is that it? No? No? Oh, I remember. I'm off like a prom dress. That's it. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you all coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe he'll strike me down for that one. And anyway, I hope you all have a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.